Hello YouTube, it's your girl Crystal Lane. Welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hey, this is not going to be a really quick video. So if you don't have time to watch it right now at this moment, go ahead and click that watch later button and come back and see me, okay? All right, so this is about my experience going to the Kendrick Lamar concert. I did write some notes. I had planned on doing this live, but it didn't happen, child. So here, I just wanted to go ahead and share my experience. As you all are aware, I turned 50 just recently. And yes, I went to the Kendrick Lamar concert. Child, let's start from the beginning before I start talking about who's at the concert. All right. Why Kendrick? How Kendrick? Well, I was introduced to Kendrick Lamar through the Beef. Child, I had seen him. Let me start here. I had seen him a couple times. I seen him with Beyonce, right? When she did that one song. And everybody knows the song, America Got a Problem. I think that's what it is. And then she performed, and they were in that water or whatnot, and they was stumping. And then some other time that they performed together, America Got a Problem, which I really like that song. And that freedom, freedom, da bum boom, freedom, cut me loose. I think that's it. You know what I mean? Okay. So, but again, I heard the name, but didn't allow it to stick because I was all about that Beyonce at that time. Then the next time I really saw Kendrick Lamar was at the Super Bowl. Not this past Super Bowl, but the one where it was, you remember, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, and then a couple other people. And then Kendrick, he had his own little performance, right, where he did his own thing, because all those people were sharing the stage, and then Kendrick over here. And what did he do? Did he do Be Humble on that one? Or he did, I don't remember what song he did, but he was in black and all. Anyway, I seen him there too. Again, heard the name, didn't really resonate. Well, I started, I don't know, self-disclose. I love country music, really and truly. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say I love country music. I love Chris Stapleton, right? So I love me a good Chris Stapleton, and I had been watching reaction videos about Chris Stapleton. Well, some of the people that did reaction videos about Chris Stapleton had started doing reaction videos about Kendrick Lamar and this beef with Drake. So I'm like, ooh, somebody beefing? I love a good hip hop, and I love good drama, right? When it ain't my drama. I don't live with drama, but I love watching drama on TV. Anyway, so I'm like, who is this? Who is these people? Now, Drake. I don't know much of his songs. The only song I really know of Drake's is, it may not mean nothing to y'all, but understand nothing was done for me. You know that one? And I know it because I really like it. And it was on the Sprite commercial. Other than that, I knew nothing about Drake. Now, after the fact, I remember this I had a client that was a little girl. The little girl was probably 10, if that. But she used to want to play, when she got in my car or whatnot, she used to want to play Kiki, ba 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 ba. I had no clue until after the fact that was Drake. I was like, I hated that song when she used to play it in my car. I was like, we is not finna listen to Kiki Little Lady today, right? But I couldn't believe that was Drake's song. I'm like, he made Kiki? Really? Was he grown at the time? Because I thought it was a little kid that made that. Anyway, let's go back. So when I got introduced to the beef, I became addicted to the whole beef thing. And I mean, some of the stuff like dropped like on my birthday. March 22nd was a big day for the beef. And then, of course, now we're at the May the 4th be with you I'm saying that after the fact because today is really the 5th, but either way, neither never know mine. But a lot of important things happen, simultaneously with the beef. But I followed it. I followed all the reactions. I still follow it. I still follow all the drama as it pertains to the beef. But in doing that, I went and researched Kendrick some more. I started listening to more of his music. And I absolutely love it. What I love about Kendrick is that his songs often tells a story. There is a story from start to finish. And if you could get past because my brother was like, I don't really like him. I don't like the way his voice changes and the inflection and all that stuff. And I was like, I love it. I love, love, love all of it. I love the drama that comes with it. And if you are not paying attention to the story and you're just simply paying attention to the beat, I love a good beat too, but I like the story. So when you talk about hip hop and you talk about some of my favorites back in the day, and I'm old school hip hop, you're talking about NWA, EPMD, you're talking about Run DMC, you're talking about LL Cool J and Kool Moe Dee and their stuff, and I can go on and on. Some of my favorites, I liked the good Big Daddy Kane back in the day too. I loved Ghetto Boys, child, believe it or not. I love me some Ghetto Boys. A lot of people like Too Short. I listened to Too Short, but he was just a little bit more raunchy to me. I like a good story. Like I said, Ghetto Boys had some good stories, even though they were, anyway. So I was old school hip hop. I still have some of those things on my playlist. Very few new hip hops, right? And I want to not leave out Will Smith, because for those of you who are not aware, Will Smith just dropped a new album. I like it a lot. So if you have not ventured out to hear Will Smith's new album, check it out. I mean, I like a lot of the songs that he's singing. He's still got a nice little flow. The beats are nice. I really like it. Of course, I am a big Will Smith fan, but never a huge fan of his music. I loved his acting. Not to say I didn't like some of his party songs to me. I mean, summer, summer, summertime. How do you not like it, right? So I get all of that, but I really, really like some of his new music. And I forgot to mention Jay-Z, because I'm a big Jay-Z fan, child, too. I love, again, he tells a good story, which I love. Anyway, so that's how I got hipped on to Kendrick Lamar. So this past week, and I knew he was on tour. I had seen a lot of videos about the tour. A lot of people, sharing their experience thus far. A lot of people talking about, oh, it's not all that, or the false narrative about not that many people, or the crowd being bots, child. That was the funny one. Anyway, so on Friday, I made a decision that I was going to go to the concert on Saturday. So I had to go out and search out a ticket for myself. I did go by myself to the concert, but I did meet up with my friend. Her daughter happens to live in Charlotte with her fiance. And I had, my husband was like, why don't you reach out to them and see if they're going to the concert? So finally, I was like, okay, I'll reach out to him. Hey, are you guys going to see Kendrick Lamar? And then she came back, was like, as a matter of fact, yes, we are. I was like, ooh, I am too. I was like, how are you guys getting there? And she's like, we haven't decided if we're going to drive or take an Uber. We're not sure. I was like, well, I'm going. And I said, my husband has been kind enough to offer to drive me to the concert, and he's gonna, entertain himself while I go, and drive me back home, which I greatly appreciate. So I didn't have to worry about finding parking and all of that stuff. So I did meet up with them before the concert, and we all went to the concert together. And then they stayed downtown, so I didn't have to drive them back home. They decided to stay downtown, and they were going to catch an Uber back. But either way, so on Friday, I started looking for, let's see this. You see this? You see this. Watch this. I don't know. And I would tell you, every time that she photobombs me, typically I don't post those videos. So let's hope this is not one of those. I'm gonna post it either way. So So, we talking about the tickets or whatnot, and I find out that they're not that far. They're not seated that far away. Tab, what do you need, love? I took you out. I'll put some food and some fresh water in your bowl a little bit later. Can you get off my lap now? I'm in the middle of a video. You do this every time. You want YouTube to see your back. She ain't even facing you, YouTube. She wants you to see her back. Anyway, let's continue. So Friday, I went and started searching for tickets. Since I was going to be by myself, I was like, well, I don't want to be out. Let's start with the truth of the matter. A sister just simply did not want to be in nosebleed seats. I did not want that. I also wanted to pay for the most premium experience. So I went on to Ticketmaster, and Ticketmaster had tickets where you could either buy resale tickets, or you could either buy resale tickets, or you could buy right from Ticketmaster. Tab, now you're breaking my iPad. Child, help me. Tab, just sit there. Can you just sit there, love? Or you can buy from Ticketmaster. So I was looking to buy from Ticketmaster, because best believe resale tickets were expensive. If you wanted to be on the floor, and the closer you got, you could, I mean, they were upwards to $1,100, $1,200, $1,600. I mean, they were expensive. And I just did not want to spend that kind of money, right? I was already spending more than I was comfortable for, but I learned that what I paid was not unusual. From what I understand, that is a very typical price for what I paid. So I did find, and luckily it's just me, so it's a onesie twosie. I'm finding these one-off tickets or whatnot. So I did find a one-off ticket. Now I had a couple choices. I could have been on the floor. And if I was on the floor, I would have been a little ways back, like row 21, row 2021 or whatnot. And I was like, I don't think I want to be on the floor, because if I'm on the floor, then people are taller than me, and I'm way back there. I'm not going to be able to see a thing, child. So I said, I'm going to go one up from the floor, which is what I did. I was in section 110. And I was in row 2. So I had a pretty decent seat, which is just the section, almost one section up from the floor. I think there was a section that was a little lower than that. I don't know, because it seems like there were people there, but I don't know what it looked like, because I didn't go down there, But I had really good seats. I could see the stage from where I was seated. I could... although, they're small, because I'm not right up on them, but I could see the stage from where I'm seated. And if I wanted to take a video, which I did, so take a look at the playlist. If I wanted to take a video of the people actually dancing and all of that stuff, I could do so. So I felt very comfortable. And then I'm looking down. So even though people were standing, the only way I wouldn't be able to see if I was sitting. You know what I mean? If I'm sitting and everybody's standing, I'm definitely not going to see. But if I'm standing, and then the people in front of me are standing, I could see without a problem. So I'm really happy with the seat that I chose. But I really could have got a floor seat on for the same price, as long as I was not using the resale, because the resales were terribly expensive. And I went to Ticketmaster, because after I bought my ticket, I went researching on the stadium's website, which it was at, gosh, I always forget the name of the stadium, Bank of America. I believe it's Bank of America Stadium. So I went looking on their website to see what I could take, and what I could bring and what I can't bring, what time it was opening and all of that stuff. Child, those tickets were even more expensive. I mean, some of them were like $900 or whatnot. And if you got the cheapest seat that I saw was like at like $195, and that's even before, you know, any fees or tax or whatever the case may be. And I did buy the insurance. I know. Some people don't believe in buying the insurance. The older I get, the more I'm like, I'm getting the insurance. Too bad. You know what I mean? So, so I go onto their website to see what I can. Oh my gosh, I'm just dropping everything. I go on their website to see what I can bring and what I can't bring. So what you want to understand about this concert is that from what I understand, most of these venues are going to be in a stadium. I believe it is a stadium tour. With it being a stadium tour, all of the things that are required during a stadium visit, like if you're going for a sporting event or whatever, is going to also be required for this concert too. So what that means is that in our stadium, the Bank of America Stadium, and then this is again in Charlotte, if I didn't say that, but which I believe I did, but in Charlotte, you can only bring transparent bags. You cannot bring your own alcohol. You can't bring an umbrella. They do allow like bottled water. You can take bottled water or whatever, but it has to be unflavored and unopened. And then the bags can only be so big. So after I bought my ticket, I started doing all this research. Not only did I start researching, you know, the stadium stuff, I started researching the weather. And I was like, oh, it's supposed to rain. And my girlfriend had mentioned rain or whatnot. She's like, oh, it's supposed to rain this weekend. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, not a big deal. Well, the stadium, the Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, does not have a retractable roof. It is open, all the way open. So everybody in the rain. Kendrick and SZA in the rain, and we definitely in the rain. So if it's gonna rain, I was like, oh gosh, I hope it really don't rain. But you know, you can't. You got to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So that's what I did. I had, again, because this was last minute, you know, I had to pull out my, I had to go and pull out my poncho or whatnot. And I have a Columbia poncho that I used to wear when I run, because I used to run a lot. And so I, went searching for my poncho. I was like, where is it? I know I didn't get rid of it. I know I still got this poncho. And I did find it or whatnot. I put it in a wash real quick to make sure it's freshed up or whatever, because who knows the last time I wore it. But and I put that in my bag that I carry. And I did carry a transparent bag. I did a video about what's in my bag, but this is the bag that I carry. I carry my Dooney and Burke it's called the It tote bag or whatnot. So I carried this along with the pouch, the pochette. It's like a pochette or whatever. And it's also clear. Because originally I was like, if it doesn't rain, I'm just going to carry this. And I added a little wristless strap so I could just carry that. But because it was going to rain and I wanted to prepare for that, I put, you know, my raincoat in here along with everything else that I felt like I needed in order to be comfortable while in the wet. So, what did I wear? I felt like I was super cute. I had planned on trying to recreate that look, but I didn't prepare for that today. So, what I wore is, I wore this cute top, and it was very nondescript. What was it? It's called a bodysuit, you know, the bodysuit with the spaghetti strap. And then it latches under you. And it is designed to be form-fitting or whatnot. So it was just a black one. And then I had these jeans, Ed Hardy jeans. Girl, I seen somebody else in my jeans. That's why I like wearing vintage, because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to see people in your jeans. But I had just picked up these Ed Hardy jeans from probably Ross's or something like that. And I said, ooh, wearing these to the concert is perfect. Luckily, she wasn't in my section, and I didn't see her until the end of the night when we was getting ready to go home. So it really didn't matter. But anyway, It's Ed Hardy jeans. And the only reason why you know that they're my jeans is because they had design on them. Because, you know, Ed Hardy is all about the design. So it has Ed Hardy up the leg here. And then on the butt area, it had Ed Hardy. Which you really probably couldn't see my butt area. Because, again, I had all the poncho and everything on. Because the sister was wet and cold at that point. At the end of the night. But it was really cute. And then I had this kimono that I had, this blue kimono that I was going to wear. Well, the kimono went out the door, which I knew. So I packed accordingly. I had a denim shirt that I wore instead. And then I put my poncho over that. And then I was looking for, again, I'm reorganizing my closet. So everything's not in here yet. So I could not find my Sperry duck boots. And I didn't want the full, I could have wore the full duck boot, you know, but I wanted just to slip on the low top duck boot. I could not find them. They're somewhere where I packed all my stuff when I packed out my closet to recreate a new closet, and I haven't brought it all back in there. So I ended up wearing my Adidas. Now look at these. I got to clean them. I'll probably do a video. Because the jeans were new, so I got some rubbing off here. I don't know if that's going to be clean, and I got a couple stains here. But I did wear these. They're not as bad as they could be, considering that we were in the rain. They could be worse. But I have to clean them sometime soon. But I would have rather had my duck boots on. And what else did I have? You know, my jewelry, whatever. Oh, I wore my bulky necklace. That came off, girl, before the show even started. I was like, I got to come out of some of this stuff. Let me see if I can find it. You've probably seen it before. Yeah. So I had this on, and then I had my Tiffany choker, and then I had my Tiffany key. That's what I had as far as jewelry, and then my normal single, my silver bangles. So I was cute, child, but let me tell you, cute did not matter because it rained like crazy. All right, let's continue. I've already talked about my seats. You have to see the video, what's in my bag. Let's see. The concert itself. Let's talk about that. Now, full disclosure, you know, I already told you that I just got introduced really to Kendrick and had a new love for his music last year during the beef. And I tell you, I got a whole Kendrick playlist nowadays. I got some faves, and I knew all the songs that I love. But I don't know nothing about SZA. I know. Don't beat me up. Don't come for me in the comments. Sorry. I went to the concert. That's why you keep hearing me talk about Kendrick, because I did not necessarily go to see SZA. I don't know nothing about SZA other than the songs that she shared with Kendrick, which I like. Luther was, let me tell you this, again, full disclosures, because why I got a lot of you. Luther off the GMX, which I thought everything on the GMX album I love for the most part, but Luther was my least favorite. I'm going to tell you what my least favorites were. Luther was, not to say it was a bad song, it just wasn't my favorite. Gloria was, and Reincarnated. Child, don't be coming for me. I know. Did I just say I know? I know. But I like all of them now. I mean, I didn't not like them. I just didn't, they weren't my favorite because I already had some favorites. You know, I'm in love with Wake Down Mirror. I like Hey Now. I like, was the one with, what's his name? And I got a bunch of them I like already. So I was rocking all of them. So when I see Luther on top number one, I was like, I didn't start really liking Luther until I seen the video. Okay, fine. Just go and come for me. Go and put in the comment section, because you just gonna bring people to my channel if you do that. So thank you. But I do like Luther. I do like it a lot. But I like 30 for 30 better. I love 30 for 30. I was chat. Chat. You know, I do it all this. So I love 30 for 30. But I think what happened was GNX came out really quickly, and then I believe SZA must have released her album or she released her album and 30 for 30 is on it. I think that kind of knocked 30 for 30 off of its acts or whatnot. But I'm like, I don't see how 30 for 30 ain't up there. I love that song. I think it's messy. I love I love a good message. But Luther got a good message too, and I'm looking for the full storyline on that. So I enjoy Luther. I enjoy all of them. But again, I don't listen to SZA. So when SZA came on, it was like a intermission for me. Don't come for me. I mean, come for me right in the comment section. Go. But I considered it an intermission. Not to say I did not enjoy it. I just don't know any of those songs. And I feel like, and I love quirky. I feel like SZA is pretty quirky. So SZA had like a big old ant that she had. I think it was an ant child. I think it was an ant because she called him Anthony. That was funny. That was cute. Anyway, so she had a big old ant and she on there and then she rolling and whatnot. I'm like, rolling on this ant is not sexy, SZA. That's what I wanted to say. I don't know what bug is sexy, but you know, she has this I'm close to nature kind of vibe to her, which I can appreciate. Hence the reason why I went ahead and bought me merch. So one of the items that I purchased, you want me to show you the merch now or continue to talk about scissors? I ain't got nothing else to really say about that. I used it as an intermission. I sat down, and then when Kendrick came back up, I stood back up. And started rapping like I wrote the song with him. Like I was on it. Like I'm his backup. Way back up. Way back in the backup. So merch. Let's talk about merch. So it's not cheap. But again, I am here for this experience. It's been a long time. I think I said that at the beginning. I got off into a big old diatribe about the long time since I've been to an actual concert. And before, they used to just be at the theater arenas or whatnot. I think the last rap concert I went to, I want to say it was LL Cool J, child. Because I've not been to a Jay-Z or Beyonce concert ever because I wasn't willing to spend that kind of money. Now I'm at the stage in my life was like, hey, you need to live life and you need to experience things you want to experience. Do it, you know, and that's what made me say, go ahead and go to this Kendrick concert and spend all your money on this ticket or whatnot. You ain't got to eat for the rest of the month. You ain't hungry. Anyway, merch. Let's talk about what I bought. So, again, merch is not inexpensive. I think I could go. So they gave these out, which is a really nice little touch, but it has a purpose. So it says Admit One Grand National Tour, May 3rd, Charlotte, North Carolina, Bank of America. And that's that. And on the back, it has this UR code. I'm assuming that you could go shop there. But I didn't do that. I went ahead and bought my merchandise. Now, we got there, and I wanted to get there earlier. Remember, I told you I went and picked up my girlfriend's, her daughter and her daughter's fiance. And they're in their 30s. So they're not little babies. They're in their 30s. Career people, you know, about their business. About their business. Say it again. What do you want, love? You just came in. You're not hungry. I don't understand. What do you need? All right. So, but I really, my desire was to get there about 5 o'clock. That didn't happen. Because the concert started at 7. But I wanted to get there at 5 o'clock because I did my research and I found that they were offering to sell merch they were selling merch, and you didn't have to go to the concert before the concert. So if you are planning on going to a Kendrick Lamar concert, just know that they're going to sell merch outside the stadium, that even if you are not going to the concert, you can go down there and you can buy you some merchandise from the concert. Now, from what I understand, they got stuff that's going to be inside the concert that's not going to be sold outside the concert. But you can go, if you're not going to the concert, but you would like to go ahead and score you some merchandise, you can go to the concert. And I think it's like from 1 to 5 or 3 to 5 or something like that. I think it's 3 to 5 or something like that, that you can go and pick up the merch. But we didn't do that. By the time we got there, which is it was about a 2-hour drive, especially because it was raining off and on or whatnot. 2-hour drive from where I live to Charlotte. So we missed the beforehand purchasing. So when we got there, it was a long line. People were standing in line to get into the venue. Also, they were standing in line for the merchandise. So we was outside, and we thought about standing in line for the merchandise. But remember, it was already raining at that point. I was like, do we want to stand in line to get merchandise and then turn around and stand in line to get into the venue? We decided that we didn't want to do that. So why are you licking me, love? What a tab? I don't understand. What do you need? I've provided you all your needs. You don't need help me. Come on. Now sit down and be nice. Could you? Because I'm busy. I told you I'm talking to you too. Help me. So we decided that we did not want to stand outside in the rain waiting for merchandise. We'll just purchase our merchandise when we get into the venue. So we get into the venue, the merchandise line is long, child. I mean, it is super long. And we were like, again, I read online, because that's what you do when you old. You start to research these things in advance. That DJ Mustard was going to be coming out at 7. You know, he's probably going to come out at 7:15, and he does a set for like 30 minutes or one night, hype you up. And then there will be a 30-minute kind of intermission before Kendrick comes on, because Kendrick comes on right when the sun is preparing a set. Then, it's dark, and then the lights and all of that is, that he has on stage and all of that. So this is ridiculous. So we wanted to not miss DJ Mustard. So we decided to go ahead and get in our seats or whatnot. And they didn't sit next to me, but they weren't that far. I was in section 110, row 2. And seat 19. So I was sort of in the middle, but not that far in the middle. And then they were in section 220 or something like that. So they weren't that far. We were on the same floor, luckily. And so they dropped me off at, dropped me off at my seat. We went into the gate, right entering in. The gate that we entered in was right by where my section was to sit. And, they were just down a little ways. So they went on and got to their seats, and I went and sat in my seat or whatnot, and ate my refreshments, because I was hungry at that point. I needed a hot dog and some pretzels or whatnot, and a beer and some drinks, whatever I had. Anyway, so I sat down, and it seemed kind of empty at that point. But then when DJ Mustard came on, you saw more people coming in, because I'm sure most people's like, I'm not finna sit out in the rain. I'll wait until the show really starts before I sit in the rain, which makes sense. I just sat down. It didn't matter to me at that point. I'm wet already. DJ Mustard come out. DJ Mustard was jamming, child. We rocking, and he played some of his songs that he was the DJ off of, or he did the beats or whatnot, which was really cool. And then I don't know if he did he do the surfing song, when you're doing that or whatnot. So he tried to get people to put their arms around it. He's like, you don't know him, that's all right. We all here having a good time. Go ahead and put your arms around him. And then, you start to surf or whatever. So we did that just to get the audience interactive. And then, Kendrick came out. Now, I'm not going to spoil in what order things came, and I don't know if he's consistent with every one of them, because I could have sworn another concert they said he opened up. Did he already open up with Euphoria? Or he opened up right away with Not Like Us? As far as that came closer to the end of the concert. He did do Whacked Out Murals. And I won't talk about his playlist. But overall, the concert was really well. I liked the way he had his stage set up. I love the fact that his screen served a purpose. They did a lot of videography, a lot of videos or backgrounds using the screens, especially SZA, you know, because she liked to do all that nature and such. Kendrick did too. One of them where he did We Gonna Be All Right. The We Gonna Be All Right, he had payday loans up there. He had the food stamp. You know, they don't do the food stamp anymore. I think they do the cash card or a charge card or something like that. But back in the day, they had the food stamps. He had a food stamp up there, and you know, all of those different things that were a staple in poor to medium to mid-income neighborhoods, right? You've seen that, because if you are not on food stamps, you didn't run into somebody who wanted to sell you their food stamps, right? That was a big deal. So if you're not getting food stamps yourself, people want to sell you food stamps all the time, and you know, they're like, hey, I'll sell you $50 worth of food stamps for $25, you know, that kind of thing. So I thought that was very interesting. But he's like, regardless of all of these things, we gonna be all right. So I love that about the song itself. So that one was very memorable. A lot of memorables, but those can come back to my day and age. And it's funny because we were talking about myself and my girlfriend's daughter, Leanne. We were talking about what age bracket would Kendrick fall in. Now, I don't know Kendrick's age. She thought he was like in his 40s. I think he's like 37 or something like that, but she's in her early 30s. She's like 31, 32 years old. So she's like, no, he's closer to you than me. I'm like, child. But I would say a lot of things that Kendrick say in his raps, I can relate to. Like, we were talking about syrup sandwiches, and she's like, we don't know nothing about no syrup sandwiches. She's like, you mean syrup and bread and you made it sound? I was like, absolutely. And she's like, no, I ain't know nothing about no syrup sandwich. I was like, I don't know if that is simply because, you know, financially challenged people, I hate to call us poor, financially challenged people experience those things, or if it's an age thing. Like, do kids not eat syrup sandwiches nowadays? But we used to do syrup sandwiches all the time. It's like, this all we got is syrup. And we weren't poor necessarily. The mama just didn't go to the grocery store. You ate it all up, child. You missed it. Now you got to wait until next time I'm going. I'm not going out to the grocery store for you every day. That one thing. You didn't eat what's left. You sat there and ate everything I bought last time, then you eat what's left. So, but other people may have been poor and they had to do the syrup sandwiches, but I thought it was funny. She was like, no, I don't know nothing about no syrup. I was like, that's because you weren't poor, let's be honest. You have two-parent household, and they both were very lucrative in what they did. So you definitely weren't poor. So it was funny having that conversation with somebody in a different age bracket. But we both have a love for this Kendrick. Now, she loves SZA. She's like, SZA's her favorite. She loves SZA. She knows all her music, so that was perfect for her. I would say at the concert, you talking about different age brackets. I seen whole families up in there, from the little kid, 7, 8 years old, to the grandmama, granddaddy, the whole family at the Kendrick Lamar concert. of course, you got a lot of different ethnic groups. I was sitting next to a lot of different ethnic groups. I had, I had in front of me, it was multiracial couple, white guy with a white woman, and then he was with his white friend who had a black girlfriend. And then I had to this side of me, it was white people here, and then this side of me, it was black people, and it was a guy, a lady, and I'm assuming they're together. I thought maybe it was her husband. I didn't know, because she only took claim to her son, who her son looks like he might be in his early 20s maybe, or late teens, if that. But him and mom having a good old time at the concert, child. I'm just saying. And she probably in her 40s, mid 40s or late 40s, early 40s. I don't know, but she didn't seem like she was my age yet. So it was an array of people there. And overall, just an overall really, really good time. Let me see. Did I leave out anything about this concert that you... Oh, I was going to show you my merch. So I started talking about that. So we're in a line. We didn't get our merch. And so you remember I mentioned that there was a black guy and a black lady, and then her son. So the black guy, he kept getting up, going. And I believe it's his son too, because the second time he got up, he left. I mean, child, it seemed like he missed the whole concert. I mean, gosh, I was thinking, and they kept looking, and I'm keep looking for on their behalf or whatnot. Did he get lost? Did he get beat up? What happened? He's a big guy, so I know he'd get beat up, but finally he come back. He got merchandise in his hand. I was like, and this toward the end of the concert at this point, child. I was like, I said, they still selling merch out there? And he's like, yeah, they're still selling it. He's like, but the lines are long. And he's like, you probably better off maybe going upstairs or walking around some more to one of the other merch stands. I was thinking to myself, I want some merch, but I ain't finna go hunting for no merch now. There's a merch stand right outside my entry to where my seats are. Now, I understand it's probably a busier one because it's right by the exit and the entrance too. So soon people walk in, they see, ooh, this is a merch stand. I'm gonna stand in the first one I see. So I get it. That's why they're busy. So I believe, and I don't quote me on this, I believe the last song that was played was Luther. Believe it or not. I thought it was gonna be Gloria. I don't know if he sang Gloria, because by that time I had to go to the bathroom. I was like, oh, I gotta run to the bathroom. Let me go now, and especially if it's ending, because if it's getting ready to end soon, then I'm gonna have to wait in line for the bathroom. And remember, I got on a bodysuit. Child, you better go. And it ain't even the unsnap kind that they sell at Shein. I got this one at TJ Maxx, child. It's the loop and latch kind, child. So you got to unlatch it or whatnot. It ain't a breakaway. Anyway, so I was like, I run to the bathroom. So I leave out and I go to the bathroom. At that time, they were singing Luther. So I missed the whole Luther thing. And I don't know if they sang Gloria. I don't think so, because right after I come out the bathroom, everybody else was coming out too. So I'm assuming that they did not sing Gloria, which I thought in other concerts, Gloria was the last, that was the closing. But maybe they did. Again, don't quote me. I don't know. So anyway, as soon as I come out, I look and I was like, oh, is that merch? They're open? And the line was dang near, it was still a lot of people standing around, but it was dang near empty for a stadium concert status. So I run up over there and I'm like, oh, they got a bunch of lines. So let me not stand in one this long one. Let me move over to the side here. So I moved off to the side. I was like the third person in line. So I text Leanne. I'm like, Leanne, I'm trying to get merch. Now, I can't see a lick without my reader's child. So I'm just texting as much as I can and whatnot. And then to see if she wanted anything, if she wanted me to pick her up anything, but she didn't respond, child. So she missed out. So let's talk about my merch. I did buy 2 items from the concert. One was this t-shirt. What does it say? Whacked out mural. Call Kendrick Lamar. 1-800-PG Lang. That's what it say. That's what it say right there. That's funny. And then this is the back of the t-shirt. So what does it have on there? G National TV Repair, 1-800-TV off. That's funny. And then G National TV Repair says the same thing in different colors. So this is the t-shirt I chose. This is a size small. This is a small, child. I got the small because the medium was kind of large. What I'm thinking I'm going to do is go ahead and make it an off the shoulder, because you know I love a good off the shoulder t-shirt. But so I got that one. And then and then when you get outside the concert, you got people that's selling non-official t-shirts. And if I felt like pulling my money out in the rain, I probably would have bought one, but I did not. I kept on moving to look for my ride. So that's the t-shirt that I got. That one was $50. And then I got me a sweatshirt, because you know, again, a sister is always cold. This is a SZA t-shirt, SOS. That's cute. And it's bugs, because she got a thing about bugs, child. And then on the back, this is what it says. SZA Grand National Tour. And then it talks about, it shares the dates. So mine is Charlotte. It shares the dates here. So you should see Charlotte and May 3rd. And that's what I got. And then this one is also a size small. Again, my thought is that I may go ahead and cut off the neck, but I'll probably do some research and decide what I want to do with this sweatshirt. They had some other ones. They had some hoodies and all of that stuff too, but I opted not to pick up that. And I really liked, even though I don't like bugs, I did like this bug type of t-shirt. I can only wear a bug on a t-shirt that's an image. Sister be screaming. My husband be like, you know you're bigger than that bug. Size don't matter. He ought to know that. We used to say size don't, what does it say? I forgot how it says, because I don't want to say the cuss word, but either way, size don't matter when you're getting your butt kicked is basically basically what it says. Anyway, it was a great experience. I'm glad I did it. I look forward to doing some other things like that. For anybody who is concerned about doing these things alone, if you're waiting on enjoying your life for someone else to join you, you're going to always miss out. I just say that. I made a decision at 50 that time, I used to say this all the time, but now I'm living it. It's different to say it and then to live it. Time wasted for no man, and neither do I. I'm 50. I got more time behind me than I do in front of me. And I just don't have I'm not interested in waiting any longer. I need to enjoy my life. I'm really grateful that my husband made that decision to drive me, because I could have drove by myself, but he offered to drive me, and I took him up on that offer. And I appreciate that greatly. It made a huge difference in my experience. So I love that he was willing to do that, because he's not a big in rap. He's not big into Kendrick. He don't follow the beef. He only hear me talk about the beef, child, and hear me rapping the songs or whatnot, because I still watch the reaction videos. I still listen to Kendrick, and I still happy 1 year anniversary to the what they call the greatest beef ever, whatever that case may be or whatnot. So let me know your thoughts. Have you gone to the concert? Are you thinking about going to the concert? How often do you let things stop you? Stop you from doing things because you don't have anybody to go with. I feel like I meet new people wherever I go. I go out to eat a lot by myself. I I'll go to a movie by myself, go to dinner by myself. Of course, I'm, shopping. I love going by myself. So don't let that stop you. I'd love to hear from you. Remember, if you're not good to anybody else, be good to yourself. Start with you, and then work that goodness on outward to other people. But start with you. Until next time, see you soon. Bye, YouTube.